He has a very sharp scythe that, if you don't protect your nads, they could be cut off very easily. Budget vasectomy! What the fuck? Hello everyone, I am the floating head, and for some reason I also have a neck, but this chain weighs it down. It may look small, but it's actually 10,000 pounds! It's such a difficult burden to bear. But right now, I am here doing a ranking of, you guessed it, Halloween monsters! Woo! Without further ado, let's get to ranking these things. Before this video starts, I just want to say that only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you like this video and want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, and you can always change your mind in the future. Now back to the video. Some of these may be actual Halloween monsters, others may just be very creepy things that you would see on Halloween. But for the rankings, we have God tier, terrifying, spooky, startling, and cancelled. First up, we have very creepy clowns. And originally in life, clowns were not meant to be creepy, but to bring joy to children everywhere, until a certain very scary movie, which we're not going to get into that right now, because that kind of really fucked me up. And I am a floating head. As for creepy clowns, where they fall on my very scary scale, clowns, I would have to say, fall under the realm of terrifying. They're spooky. The next very scary creature we have are demons. I tried to find a picture that was both terrifying and arousing at the same time. Did I succeed? But overall, demons are the... what's the term? It's probably inhabitants of hell and all those other good things. Basically, they are very scary beings. They are of the dead people. I'm gonna be really honest. I don't really know what demons are, but they look really scary. And for that, I am going to put them all the way up in God tier. Woo! Next up, we have a classic. We have Frankenstein's Monster, best portrayed by Boris Karloff. You can never change my mind. The Frankenstein Monster was invented by a German scientist named Frankenstein, who thought he could sew back the pieces of dead bodies and create a new body for his creation. Let's just say things kind of went awry. But as it's being a classic monster, you know exactly where it must go. It's a God tier spooky! And next up we have, no, it's not a KKK member, it's a ghost, although they are very spooky too. Ghosts are the souls of those who are dead that have come back to haunt you. Although this guy is just some guy in a white sheet. And therefore, this guy's not really scary. Plus, I may be a floating head, but I don't believe in ghosts. So you know where these guys are going to go? Down and cancelled, because that's where they belong. Next up, we have freaking Death himself, the Grim Reaper. This guy is the guardian or the gatekeeper of the afterlife, where all evil spirits go. He has a very sharp scythe that, if you don't protect your nads, they could be cut off very easily. Budget vasectomy! What the fuck? The Grim Reaper is scary to almost anyone whoever he comes in contact with, so I think I may just have to adjust the scale a little bit. The Grim Reaper is going to go up here in God tier, and I'm going to move demons down to spooky. Because honestly, I think that's where they belong. Next up, we have the Headless Horseman. I don't remember exactly what tale this is from. It's something to do with a guy named Ichabod Crane. But the Headless Horseman is just as you would imagine. The guy is headless, but his head is actually a flaming jack-o'-lantern that can blow shit up. Woo! He is very scary, but I would not put him at God tier. In fact, I would put him a bit closer to spooky, actually. That's just me, though. Next up, we have the Invisible Man. And sure, right now he doesn't look invisible, but when you take off his bandages, you'll see he has no skin, or organs, or bones. Actually, I need to correct myself because the skin is technically an organ. But we're not here to learn today. The Invisible Man isn't exactly really a monster, he just has a very unique feature about himself. So, I mean, to me, he is scarier than ghosts. So I know where we need to put him. He's a startling boy! I had to double check because I couldn't remember what that was, but we have a mummy! Mummies are the mummified remains of dead people. If you didn't catch that from the freaking name. Mummies, typically found in Egypt, they are very, very, very creepy. But I don't believe that they can be real and come to life or anything like that. So, you know where we're gonna put them. Ah, you thought I was going to say canceled, but no. Rather, he is more of a startling boy. Next up, we have one of the most horrifying creatures known to human and monster kind. Baby Pumpkin. Its cuteness can scare the life out of you. You thought nothing could ever be this cute, but guess what? It is, and it's horrifying. There's only one place where this guy belongs. He belongs in God tier for being so scary. Alright, next up we have Scarecrows. These are typically put in cornfields to scare birds or crows away from crops, hence the term scarecrow. But since various movie adaptations, they've become much scarier and alive even. To the point where there's even a Batman villain named after one of these. What is their ability? Really nothing, it's just them made out of freaking straw. Nothing really interesting about them. Sorry, but you're cancelled. Next up, we have skeletons. I know these aren't exactly monsters of such, considering every living thing has a skeleton, almost. But they're still very creepy if they're not covered by organs and skin. I mean, just imagine my floating head just being a floating skull. That'd be much more horrifying now, wouldn't it? I will say, to me, a skeleton is far more startling than just a mummy. Spooky! Next up, we have the monster that has been ruined by TV and film. We have vampires! Like, seriously, what the fuck is this? I give the movies a solid 5 out of 10. Vampires, what they can do. What vampires should be able to do is they can turn into bats. They suck the blood of their victims through their neck. Some vampires can suck other things. Let's not get into that right now. But just vampires as a whole, I know where I'm going to put them. They belong right up there and terrifying. They don't really rise to the standards of Baby Pumpkin. Next up, we have one of my favorite creatures ever. We have the werewolf. Werewolves are quite terrifying. During a full moon, they turn into a wolf-like humanoid creature. And that's basically it. There's not much else that they do. But they look very scary to a point where I have to put them all the way up in God tier. It somehow got a good bit darker in here, and that's a bit scary to me. Next up of the Halloween monsters, we have witches. Witches are mystical beings of strange magical powers. They ride on broomsticks, and they tend to ride on broomsticks without any underwear for a better grip. Wink, wink. The most famous of witches is that of the Wicked One from The Wizard of Oz. But other than that, she's not really that scary. I mean, I'll give her spooky, but other than that, not really much of anything. It's suddenly brighter in here! And lastly now, we have zombies! Zombies are undead corpses that have come back to life. If they bite you, you turn into a zombie! And trust me, not being one is fun. I've seen friends go by that way. It's quite sad. But, as for me, there's not much for zombies to grab, or bite, or anything like that. But they're still very scary, and I know exactly where they belong. They are absolutely terrifying. I think these are going to be my ranks for this video. I have been the Floating Head, and I can't wait to see you all further in this spooky season.